Hi, Chris here, and today I'm going to be continuing my Beginner's DD series with this Unity padlock sent to me by Lock Skipper in America. And this is a very good beginner's lock actually. It's got all the things you'd look for. It's quite easy, it's a good quality lock, so it's quite fun to pick. They are relatively cheap. You have to buy them in pairs, but that means each lock's quite cheap. And best of all, you can take this end cap off and get the guts out, which I think is really useful for getting to know the lock. There's a grub screw down there which is exposed when you open the shackle, a bit like some of the higher end locks. So yeah, it's a worthwhile thing to have. It does have a bit of a quirk in that you can't turn all of the discs 90 degrees before you start, and I'll show you why that is in a minute. But before that, let's get a pick in there, see if we can get this open. Okay, so I'm tensioning on disc 1, so I'm going to start on disc 2, test each disc in turn, and disc 2 is binding well. There we go, so that's in a gate now. Disc 3, that feels like a max rotation, so I'm just going to push that there and leave it. Disc 4, that's binding, and that's in a gate now. 5, it's binding well, that's in a gate. 6, there, just nudged 6 on and it is open. Excellent. Right, so now we can go in there and look at what's inside. Okay, that's the grub screw out, so now we can just unscrew the end cap. There we are. And then the easiest way to get the innards out is probably on the key actually. And I can't do that. Take out one disc at a time. So there we have front plate. Unusually shaped spacer. So these discs, they're all quite simple. There's no false gates or anything. They've got sort of quite big true gates on them. You might notice that the stops, the anti-rotation stops, are different sizes. So these two, for example, are quite a lot bigger than that one. So when you're doing that turn at the start, you turn these until they reach the stop, but that means that these other ones with the smaller stops on them have still got a little bit of a way to go, which is easy enough to sort out as you're going through and picking it. Okay, so that's the disc stack. So we've got a front plate and then 6 discs. Get the rest of the core out. So there's the carrier and a nice chunky round sidebar. So that's what's inside. It's really useful, I think, to be able to understand what's in the locks you're picking. So for a beginner, I think that's a really good choice. I'd recommend this lock.